Hello guys! I think I'm ready now. I was a little bit delayed as my daughter went to bed a bit later than normal. So I think everything should work fine today. I managed to figure out the problem last time. So I'm filming this with my phone. I have a horrible setup, but basically the reason why I had all the lags was because I had like probably 50 apps open on my phone and yeah, that doesn't work. And also I was connected to the wrong internet connection. So so far it looks okay. Doesn't seem laggy or anything, so hopefully it should be like that today. Okay, so today we're going to attempt the hair. I uploaded a picture. I don't know if you can see it, but basically what I've done is that I have blended out this side and left this like we did on the last live stream. So basically I've just gone over with lighter pencil of the same shades that we were using and just blending it in. From a distance you can't really see that much difference, but when you zoom in you can see it's much more grainy on the right side. Yeah. So the plan is now to try and get similar hair to this one. I am thinking that I might turn this light away, or maybe it's too dark, we'll see. Or maybe not. It looks so good like half an hour ago because it was still daylight, so I didn't need to have, because when I have this light on, you see here it kind of shines. So I think I'll just have to turn the light away a few times. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start the way I normally do with markers. And I just have another one here because I have to see, because the thing is I never test my markers, so I don't know how much I have left. And as I think I've mentioned before, it doesn't really matter that much what color. I'll use this one. So I'll use a slightly darker one than I used last time, and it's just because it's more left in this one. Okay, so I'll start with the marker, and I'll just so this I do like the other way around than what I do with the skin. I do the highlights first, but on the hair I do the darkest part first, because that's just easier, I think. Okay. I'll just start up here. And I just prefer to use these Copic markers because they have this brush tip, which I find much easier to work with. It's easier to blend it as well. Not that it really matters that much for what we're doing here, but I just prefer these. Now I just have to be a little bit careful so I don't color the face. And here I don't necessarily always see straight away where it needs to be dark and where it needs to be light. So I'll start with the places where I think I can easily see it's going to be dark, and then I do that first, and then after I've done that, I kind of make the decision on the other places. So I'll jump around a bit here. And basically everywhere, like here you can see you have this hair lying in front of this one, so here it will be darker. And as I mentioned on a previous video, you can just do this with pencil, but by using the marker you kind of saturate the paper, so you don't need to use as much pencil. And as I'm going to go over with pencil after, it's not very important that it's done very carefully. Just try and avoid to touch the face. Oh, hello Isabel, nice to see you. And if you, for some reason, which happens to me quite often, that I make a place dark and then when I color the hair I see that it shouldn't be dark after all, you just go over it with the lighter pencil. Because that's the thing, even if you use dark brown here, you can get it quite light just going over with lighter pencil. These are Copic markers, yes, but you can use whichever markers you want for this, because I'm going to go over with pencil, it doesn't really matter. But I just prefer these because they have a brush tip. It's just easier to layer them down. Yeah, so you can use water-based markers in the books. I do have a small set of those. that I got, but I haven't really used them that much yet, so I'm not that experienced with them. So I don't know how easy they are to blend, but for this purpose, it's not really important anyway. Just seeing now if I think that this is where I plan to have it darker, or if there's other places I want to. I actually think I'll take this whole section. Oh, what color? Oh yeah, of course, I should tell you. This one is called Walnut. But I think last time I used one called, it's called Sepia, but it's very brown. I always think of Sepia as a kind of brownish grey. Oh, there's no reason why it should be lagging today. I thought I fixed the problem. I have no apps open on my phone. I am on the right connection. I did try it beforehand and everything was working fine. Hopefully it will just pass. I think that if you find it lagging, you could try to just refresh it. Because I think on one of the streams that I did, it was looking like that for a long time and I thought it was really laggy, like for everyone, but it was just on my part, so I just refreshed and then it works fine. So if you get that circle thingy, just try and refresh it and see if that helps. So normally I just try to think like these things that kind of goes outward or upward or however you say it, that those are the lighter part. It's easier to see here. So that this one is light and this curling in the other direction is dark. Oh, that's great. It should be better. I was so sure that I had fixed my issue. And I do have a new phone, so that should be good too. And I think that also when I uploaded, because when I did it on Facebook and I uploaded it to YouTube, I could see that the quality wasn't great. But here it should at least be even if there are some lags going through, it shouldn't be on the final, well, when it's uploaded after. My husband told me that I should really get like a proper HD camera, but I just bought myself a brand new Mac, so I can't afford that at the moment. So I'm just hoping that doing it this way will work out. Oh, hello, Nathalie. I'll try to remember that if I see you say anything, that you're Nathalie and not Nick. Okay, so now I'm feeling a little bit unsure with the last parts here, what I should do, where it should be dark. Yeah, let's make this a bit darker. Okay, I think I'm just gonna leave that one for now and just go over now with the lighter one. And I mustn't forget my tea, because I have no Coke today either. Okay, so I think I used this one last time. So this is one of the markers that, so this brand here, called the Touch Twin. They have two types. And I can't really see that they have different name. One is just called Touch Twin, and they're both called Touch Twin. But this white one, they have the brush, which I like. But this one, they have these, which is not the best. But it's the one I have in the color I want to use. And I'm going to do this very roughly. Yeah. Because basically now I just want to cover everything that isn't covered, just so that it will be easier for me afterwards with the black line. So now I'm just using the other tip. I don't know what this tip is called, but the wide one. And I'm not worried about these layers blending nicely into one another. Yeah, it's absolutely horrible not having Coke. I'm such a Coke addict, and I don't know why I keep forgetting to buy it. I think my husband will probably bring some for me when he gets home, but that might be hours from now. So until then, tea. So I have to be a bit careful with this and just use the pointier tip on the smaller areas, because I see here that I went outside the lines. Oh, this marker is, I'm so sorry, it's called Flax. It's just like a light brown, very light brown, sort of. Yeah. So basically I just wanted, let's see now. I just saw like my screen was black there for a second, saying that there was an issue, but I just refreshed it and now it's fine. Yeah, I just wanted a sort of brownish beige colour that is lighter, and this is the only one that I have at the moment, so otherwise I would probably have used this Copic one, Sand, but there's hardly anything left in it. Okay, then I'm just gonna change to my pointy tip. No, I think it was just, hopefully it was just on my part. It's just that there's an error with something. But refreshing it helped and my phone seemed fine, so. So, I mean, there's so many different shades of brown here, so if you're using markers and you don't have the same color, it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really matter either if we don't get the exact same brownish hair color, because I think the principles will be the same. And if we use sort of similar pencils anyway, I think the result will be quite similar anyway. I do love the sound of markers though, on paper. If I had more time, I would have spent more time trying to do colorings with only markers. I think I've done one like ages ago when I just got my markers, but I haven't really tried since. And I've decided that this part here will be dark, but I just have to be a little bit careful so I don't touch the hair or the face. A little bit here, probably, and this part. And probably I'm really not sure there, so I'll just leave it. It's not always easy seeing exactly what to do. Okay, I think we can just go on to pencil. I think especially if you use markers on tan paper, you can't really like super mess it up, because you can color over. I mean, I can go over the darkest here with white and it will be white. Well, at least close to, so you can go much lighter. But especially when I have like backgrounds and lots of flowers, stuff like that, I always use the markers first. Saves me so much time. And pencil, saves pencil. Okay, so I'll just start with one lock of hair here. And I'm using my Luminance White. And the first thing I do is that I go over the black lines. And then afterwards we have to figure out which pencils to use. Because I haven't really thought of that yet, and I really can't remember what I used on my previous one. So I normally just do one section at a time. Oh yeah, I know, I hate backgrounds, but kind of need to do them, because the picture doesn't look whole unless the background is in place. But I have so many pictures or colorings that I've done like everything but the background and then never bothered to finish. Okay, so I was wondering, because I'm pretty sure that on my last one I did use Luminance pencils for the hair, and I just used the skin colored one. But as I have some polychromos pencils here, I might use those as well. So I'll start with, I think I'll just start with this one. So this is the Caput Mortem Violet. And I'll just see now if I have, yeah, so you could use burnt, I would have used burnt sienna, I would have used, if I used the Luminance. And chestnut or sienna brown for Christmas. So when I do the hair, I just always do it quite roughly, just in strokes, in the same direction that I think the hair is going. So this is this brown is a little bit reddish, but that's okay. I did not use polys on my other ones, no. I only used what I had available, which was Luminance, and that's normally what I use. I really should use polychromos for the hair. Okay, I think I want the darker to still be a little bit darker, so I will use my Sepia. And this is Luminance. No, this is Prisma. Because where I've put the Caput Mortem on top of the white lines, it will look very red. So I'm just at least trying to over those lines with this. sepia. And then I think I will use burnt ochre 50%. And you have burnt ochre also for Prismacolor, or you could, yeah, you have burnt ochre for all of them. So just use a burnt ochre pencil. Because this is the hair underneath, I still want it to be darker than other places. Okay, and then I'll probably use brown ochre 10%. And then you can use beige for Prisma or eggshell. Or this is the one that I struggle to find a good color for Polychromos, but just a light pencil, maybe cream, maybe light yellow ochre. That's quite yellowish though, but it could work. And now I have to go back and go over with the same. So back to the Caput Mortuum. Really I should have a pointier tip, but can't be bothered this second. When it comes to the pressure, I'm using a much harder pressure on the pencil when I'm doing hair compared to skin and other things. But it depends. So for example, now on the darkest part here where I want it to be much darker, I might press, yeah, I am pressing harder. Then I was actually wondering if I'm going to try and use my indigo, dark indigo. Just a little bit of that on the very darkest places. So I still think that it's too light, so I'm going back with my burnt ochre 50%. And then I think I'll try to use a little bit of my sepia again. I think that's okay for now. And then I'll move on to the hair on top here. Probably should have a little sharper pencil. So this hair will probably be a little bit darker than what I did on my other one. But it's always very hard, especially when I'm not sure of the colors I use to try and replicate it. But I'm going for a sort of brown, natural hair. So I just have to turn this on the side a bit. I always feel it's a bit scary doing it live, because what if this is the time that I'm not getting it right? And then people have spent hours watching it, trying to do the same, and then it turns out bad. No, I never write down. I'm so horrible. I really should, like on post-it notes or on the back of the page or something, I should write down the colors I use. And it's especially bad if let's say I've done half the hair, and then because I'm coloring on my kitchen table, and I pack everything away in the evening, and then when I take it out next time, maybe it's a few days or something, and I have absolutely no idea what I've used. That is a bit painful. Okay, this also needs sharpening. So I had to move away from, I did have a swordfish like big sharpener, and I thought I was treating it well, but apparently not, because it's not really working that well. So I've gone back to my Faber-Castell, this pencil sharpener, and this one works absolutely fine. It doesn't, because the other one kind of like, it doesn't sharpen the wood very nicely. And then the tip isn't, I don't know how to explain, it doesn't kind of sit on as it should. But this sharpener is really good, but you don't get as a pointy tip, so I have to sharpen it more often. Oh, hello, Faye. I'm going back now, I'm starting again, and I'm trying to, normally I do it in the same order, so I did the white, and then I go in with this color, which is the one that I started with on the other one. Yeah, so I really think it is a good idea to write out, and especially like maybe sometimes you get a really nice combination and you would like to use that one again, and then you can't remember. So I just have to move my paper, because it is important that I just do the strokes in the same direction as the hair is flowing. I do have one of those color swatches book, the one that I've done this one in, but I haven't really used it. But it's just that I find that I never have the time to sit down and do that, because when I finally have time, I want to color, not writing things down. So here I want it to be a bit lighter than it is here. So here I'm actually going to use my white just a little bit. A few strokes. And then I'll go back to sepia. Then I'll move on to this burnt ochre 50%. When doing the hair, the pencils are quite loud on the paper. And then I'm going to use the burnt ochre 10%. No, not burnt ochre, brown ochre. Or whatever light pencil you have that is not white but light. So of course, if you have a pointier tip to your pencil, it will look more like you can get the single, or not single, but hair strands. So with the Caput Mortuum again. Oh, actually now I'm using just the Caput Mortuum, not the violet. I should really do like the color combo chart or something when I watch a movie or something with my husband. Oh, I think it annoys him a little bit that I can never pay full attention to anything. I just always have to multitask. And then I'm going back with burnt ochre 10% because I want this hair just here. I want the light to go up a bit because this hair is sort of coming in front. I still want it to be much darker though on the darkest parts. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this dark indigo, but I don't want to use too much of it either, because then I think the hair will look more purple. Just so using this is something that somebody recommended me to do, to use a dark blue instead of black. So I'm still sort of trying to work out if it works for me or not, but as I had this one available now, I thought let's give it a go. I have done it before, but I can't really say if it was, well, it wasn't worse, but I don't know if it was better. Okay, I'm gonna use the darkest, the Caput Mortem Violet again. And yeah, the more pointy the tip, the better it kind of layers on. So it is much better. If you are not too impatient, try to always keep a very pointy end when you do the hair. Don't be lazy like me. You think it looks real? That's good. I can't. The problem for me is that I can't really see if it looks good until I have the whole hair in, because now I have this white line here that is not going to be there, but it disturbs my eyes so much that I can't, like, to me now it just looks weird. But hopefully we'll get there. So I'm just gonna use a bit of this burnt ochre 50% here because I don't want it to be like whitish, at least not here. And then I'm just gonna go over again. Just this transition here, I want that to be a little bit darker. Ah, thank you, Susie. Yeah, so this hair will look very different to the other one, but it will be a darker sort of brown with a bit of a red tint, but that should be okay. So now, instead of doing this part, I'm just gonna go straight down here. I'll do that part afterwards, but because I'm not 100% sure still how I want to do it, it's easier to do the other parts first. But I think for the hair, it's always good if you use a good selection of colors, because that will make the hair look more real. And I don't just put down one color and then I'm done with it. I go back and forth, and probably if I did this now on my own, I might do even more layers. Yeah. But I do think that that is one of the reasons why I get, well, not 100%, but a sort of realistic result, is that I really take my time with this. When it comes to the face and hair, I never really rush it. Might do that with the rest. So to obtain a good result, I think you have to be very patient. And I really find that it helps if you're struggling, especially with the face, that there's something not looking right, just leave it until the next day. Because at least for me, it's kind of like always in the back of my mind. I think of it, and as I see people during the day, it's kind of like in the back of my mind, and I kind of, without really knowing it, I study their nose or their eyes or something, and then I just get an idea on how I should do it. And then I go back to it and I just edit it. So it's very rarely that I get a perfect face on my first try. I need to leave it and then fix the things that needs fixing. Oh, hello, Mitas. Yeah, I understand that this is not the perfect time for everyone, but this is really the only time that I'm able to do it, because I work during the day, and then often my husband works at night, so I have to, well, I can't really color or at least not record whilst my daughter is awake. And I think that a lot of the people who are interested in this and who are watching are from either like Australia or America, so it's not the best time. By the way, I'm using the Caput Mortem Violet again, which is the one I started on for the last 2 sections as well. So the reason why I wanted to do this part was so that I could fix this part, because now it's white and it's not going to be white there. But I think I'll have it a little bit lighter, so I can't really do that until this part here is sorted. Okay, then I'm going back with sepia. Yeah, I think the good thing with this is that I can just upload it and people can watch it whenever they want. And as I've mentioned before, it's just so much more convenient and easy for me to do it live than to do pre-recordings, because it takes too much time. And now I'll use this one, burnt ochre 50%. Is it burnt ochre? Is it? No, it's burnt. Then I'm going to use the white just a little bit here, because this is a part that I want to be quite light. And then I'll use a little bit of my brown ochre 10%. So you'll see that I kind of use different techniques when I'm doing this. So when I'm going over with the lighter ones, I kind of just do it back and forth instead of just one stroke. And it is because I'm not really defining the hair strands with the light colors, because I will go over with darker after. But this is kind of just like to cover it, if that makes sense. Okay, and then I'm going to use my carpet mortem. And now I should have a pointed tip. Now I can hear my husband is coming home, so hopefully that means Coke. Coke Zero. I don't like normal Coke. Is there any Coke? Okay, good. There is Coke for me. I see now that I have to go over this again, and I'm so tempted to just go and fix it straight away, but I'll try and leave it for now. Is it cold? It's warm Coke. It's no good. We don't have ice cubes, I think. Okay, so I'm going to use my dark indigo again. And especially this part here, I want to be quite dark. Okay, gonna use a bit of this sepia here again. I might actually have to use a little bit of black, just because I see there's one of where I have used the white pencil that is still shining through as white. But I didn't want. Okay. Then I'll try to fix this white line here. So I'll start with the burnt ochre 50%. And then I might have to go even darker, but I'll start with that. And then I want this part closest to that is going under the other hair here. I want to be much darker, but still lighter than this part. And that looks a little bit red. So I'm going to use the sepia to try and get it a bit more brown. Okay. Then I'll also use the sepia here. And I need to sharpen. And I'm using the Coppet Morton Violet. Here's my Coke, thank you. They have indeed. Cokes makes everything better. So I just need the zip. So this part underneath here I'll have a bit darker. I'm trying to think if I remember what Lucozade is. I'm not sure.
It's an orange energy drink.
Orange energy drink, right. Don't think I've had it. But if it helps you, that's very good. So I just use this burnt ochre, and then I'm gonna use a bit of brown ochre. So does the sugar make you feel better when you've been ill? Oh, I didn't know. Back with sepia. So when I'm not coloring, when I'm working, at the moment I am doing a PhD in, well, it's sort of microbiology, bioinformatics. And I am now in my last year, which means that I really need to start properly putting in the effort. So I am expecting there will be less coloring from me, at least until I'm done. That was also sort of why I wanted to do these videos now. I will be back though, but I kind of need to get my degree. Oh, but you can drink Coke Zero, Faye, if nothing else. And Coke Zero is the best, so I'm sure it's much better than Lucozade. No, that was that was the dark indigo. Oh, hi, Gabrielle. Thank you. I'm hoping it will turn out okay in the end. Looks a bit purplish, but yeah, if you've seen any of my other videos, the hair color often turns out to be a bit different to what I initially planned. Yeah, I'll use this burnt ochre 50% here. And then I go back with the caput mortem because I want this lowest part of the lock here to be a little bit darker. yes, what sketch nation, sketch can I can't say that. What Susie is saying. Yeah, so this is an image. Well, it's part of an image from Bella Futura, but it's Jennifer has blown it up so you only see her face. And this can be purchased on Etsy separately. Going to use my brown ochre, but I need to sharpen it now a bit. So when I do my pencil strokes, and especially when I'm using the darker pencils, I don't do them, you know, entirely close to one another. So I want there to be, to see the different strokes. And I'm going to use now just a Caput Mortuum here, because I can see now this is still way too light. And I might have to go over with sepia so it's not so red. I want it to be lighter than this part, but I don't want it to be blinding. So I'll just use the sepia over here to tone it down a little bit. Oh, hello, Jennifer. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. Because I said I wasn't going to do the neck on this one because I didn't know how to do it, basically. But Jennifer has done a really, really nice neck. So if you just need inspiration on how to approach the neck, just check out her version of this on Instagram. It's really nice. So I think I'm actually going to use that sort of as a inspiration and reference point, and maybe do the neck. Is on this one I just made it into a sweater. I don't really like it. I want it. It looks very nice when she has the neck. So, but I'm not going to film it because I have no idea what I'm doing. So it will be a bit of back and forth, but you can have a look at Jennifer's, and when I've done mine, you can have a look at mine as well, if it turns out okay. And once I'm better with necks, I will show you that in a video as well. Oh, Jennifer once was really, really good. Please have a look at it. Her whole thing is really good. She is really, really exceptional at coloring as well. So I'm going to use my burnt ochre, brown ochre 10%, and it was just this part here was bothering me a bit, so I can't help it, I have to go back. And then I need to go over with a darker one. I think I have to sharpen this. And I'm going over here with the sepia again. okay, that will have to do for now. I might have to tighten it up a bit, because I can see now that this part is quite a bit darker than the rest, so either I have to probably lighten this or darken other parts, but I'll leave that for now. I think I'm gonna go over to this part here. Just have to constantly sharpen my pencils. I'm going with the Carpet Mortem Violet. I just have to turn this a little bit to the side. And I'm going to use the brown ochre. And then the burnt ochre. And the sepia. Yes, Luminance pencils are my absolute favorite. I just love them. So those were the latest addition to my pencil set, and I don't think I'll ever want any other type of pencil. So the Luminance, no, the Polychromos pencils were the first big set that I got. And I remember it actually took a bit of getting used to those when I got them, because I was using a Koh-i-Noor, I don't know how to pronounce that, Polycolor before that, when I just started. Just going over with Carpet Mortem Violet now. But once I got used to the Luminance, the Polychromos, I was actually very happy with them. and probably wouldn't have changed if it wasn't for I was in the UK, and then they had Prismas on offer on Amazon, and it was really quite cheap for a whole set of 150, and I thought, wow, just need to try. So I got those and I started, and I thought that those were very hard when I started because they were so different to the Polychromas. But I got used to them, and then I preferred the Prismas, but the problems I had with the Prisma was that they were breaking all the time. The other thing is that they don't sell them in Norway, so I couldn't really buy a new open stock because they don't sell them open stock, and they don't sell them in sets either. So it was a bit difficult. And then I did hear great things about the Luminance, and then I decided when I was in the UK to just get them because they were much cheaper there than they were here. And when I first tried them, I thought that they're not as good as my Prismas, but I kept going, and I absolutely love them. They are soft. I don't know if they are as soft as the Prisma. I don't know. Because the thing is, I haven't really, I use some Prismas, but I never use the Prisma for skin anymore. But they are soft pencils. But I don't think I have the knowledge to say if they are softer or not. Maybe Jennifer knows. Oh, hello, Mai. I'm going to use the Coppet Mortem a little bit. And then I'm going to use my dark indigo. I'm going to sharpen it. Just a little bit more of the Coppet Mortem. But I guess at least not knowing what pencils I use, not writing it down, at least I don't ever get the same hair color, so I mean, could be good in one way. Okay, Coppet Mortem Violet. Yeah, I think the thing is I didn't really use Prisma for that long before I got my Luminance. But at least I would say that they are, I mean, Luminance and Prisma are closer than Polychromas are to any of them, because Polychromas is quite hard. and I haven't really colored a face with polychromos in like forever, but I remember at least that I found it quite difficult. Just to do the layering. I found it hard to get the smooth look. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of the brown ochre. Then a bit of the burnt ochre. Hello Opal, nice to see you. Using the sepia now. Then I'm gonna use a little bit of dark indigo. Luminants are quite soft, I'd say. I find the luminants quite easy to blend. But of course, if you have been using, especially if you've been using polychromos for a long time and then you get a set of luminants, you'll probably find it very hard to blend because you have to do, it's a very different technique, I think. Oh, good night, Susie. So I'm gonna use the burnt, no, brown ochre again. And every time now, especially when I use the blunt and luminance, I have to go over to kind of get the hair strokes back, hair strands, sorry, with the polychromos. Okay, I'm gonna move down here now, and I'm now using the Copic Morton Violet. I should probably actually cover the whole thing with white first. Yeah, so I think most people would agree with it being easier to do hair with polychromos. You are able to get a much more pointed tip because they're harder, which is good when you're doing hair strands. Probably I should have added more marker here, but just have to drag it out with pencil. Okay, so I'm going back now with the Copic Morton Violet. I think another thing that is good with Luminance pencil, and especially in relation to Prismas, is that they have much better light fastness, or whatever it's called, so the colors won't fade that easily. I'm not sure about the light fastness on the polychromos. I know that that's what these stars here mean, but I'm not sure if 3 stars is good or 1 star is good. I'm guessing 3 stars is probably good. More stars the better. And I think that especially if you are doing commissions or selling your art, you would want the colors to stay the same and not to fade. Just using a bit of white now here. So obviously I won't be able to finish the hair today. It does, like, she has quite a bit of hairs, so it will take some time to get the whole thing. But I think that you are getting the idea of how I'm doing this. I'm gonna use the burnt ochre 50%. And then I'll use the dark indigo. So I don't always do it in the same order, because I think I used the sepia before the dark indigo on the other ones, but it doesn't really matter that much. So I'll use the sepia now to sharpen it. Yeah, I think that if I was smart, or at least if I was a bit better with money, I would use more of my Prismas. But I mean, I do have the full set, and I haven't really used that much of my pencil. but I just much prefer using my luminance. Just using the white again now a little bit, because this part here will be quite light, I think. Then a bit of brown ochre. And then I'm gonna use the Coppet Molten Violet, and you can see I'm sharpening all the time. And if you're doing this picture, if you're coloring this face, I would really love to see what you're creating. So if you post it on Instagram, tag me so I can see, or you can even post it to my Facebook page. Oh yes, everyone, if you're not part of the coloring group, you need to join on Facebook. It's called Modern Coloring with Jennifer Zimmerman, I think. Was that the name of it? Bye, Jennifer. Nice that you stopped by. Oh, you've ordered some luminance, Opal. I'll just give them time. If you find them difficult to work with on your first try, remember that that is completely normal. And it does take some time getting used to new pencils, but they are amazing. Just using my sepia a bit again. and then just the burnt ochre to tone down the white parts. Yeah, as I said, with all of my pencils, when I first got them, I did not understand why people were saying they were so good. But after a few colorings, you will know. So I think this will be my last live stream in this series. Because it's almost been, well, it's been an hour 45 minutes or something, or 40, and I haven't even done half of the hair. Wait a minute. Sit back. Try to reload here. Okay, it seems to be back. Stream stopped there for a minute, I think. So I'm just going over here with the white. But I think all in all, it did work much better this time. At least for me, I haven't seen that it has been very laggy. Only like a few times it seems that it has stopped a little bit. Carpet Morton Violet again. But if there's something you would particularly like to see from me in the future, just send me a message or write a comment on my Facebook page or something, or a comment here on YouTube, wherever. As I said, I'm supposed to be very busy in work, and I will be. But I still like to spend some evenings doing things that I like doing. So I will have time to do something. My eye is so itchy. Oh, sorry, I have the most itchy eye. Okay, I hope it's good now. Oh, thank you, Faye and Isabel. Well, if it's particular things that you would like to see, like for example a certain hair color, a certain type of eyes, like a different sort of face, for example in a different angle, I'm happy to give it a go. It's quite nice actually, coloring and sort of chatting to people. Using the brown ochre. But I think another thing that I might attempt to do as well is to when I'm just doing my normal sort of coloring, to just try and have the camera up and then maybe do like a little speed thing, speed it up and then just add it to YouTube so one can see the process from start to finish. But I think without instructions and stuff, because that just takes too long. If there's something people are interested in seeing, I'll just do a live stream on that. But I remember when I started, I did do that quite a bit, just watch like speed drawings. It's quite fascinating. Okay, goodbye Opal, nice that you stopped by. It's actually still snowing. It was snowing today. And it has been snowing like over Easter. It was snowing so much. We were like literally snowing down. But it's like snowing often in the evening or maybe a bit in the day, but when the sun comes out, it melts. So it's quite slushy. Not very nice. I really don't like this time of year in this part of the country. Like the spring is not very nice because it's just all grey and melting snow. Yeah, I wish it could stop snowing, because as it's looking right now, we will still have snow for our National Day, the 17th of May. Where do you live, Isabel? I might have asked you before, so forgive me if I have forgotten. Just using my sepia now. Ooh, Costa Rica. I would love to be over there right now. You didn't have snow for that long though in the UK. I was over there, and the day in March, and it snowed the day we left, and I think it was only for a few days. I was living there for 3 years, and I think I only experienced snow one time. Okay, burnt ochre. I've never been to South or Central America, but I would really like to go. Been to Florida once, but that's it. I really haven't traveled as much as I should have. But do you have much snow in Denmark though? Because I don't know, I just thought that it wouldn't be much snow there. Which reminds me, I am going to Denmark actually in August, to Copenhagen. Looking forward to that. Using the carpet. I do like the snow though, like when it's like proper winter, and especially for Christmas, it's so nice to have lots of snow. But it's just during the spring, and when the snow drags out into June, you're just so tired of it, because I mean we have snow from October, sometimes November, but October, November until May. It's too long. I've been to Denmark once when I was 12. We were staying a few days in Copenhagen. We went to the Tivoli. And then we also, of course, we went to Legoland. I know that's not in Copenhagen, but we stayed in Copenhagen first and then we went on. But this time I'm going for a conference, so I probably won't get to see that much of the city. But it's still traveling, and I do like to travel, though I don't do it very often. I think once my daughter is a bit older, I will feel better about traveling far or further out, and then I would very much love to go to South and Central America. So it's on my bucket list. Yeah, I think a lot of people have issues with the darkness here, because we've had a few like researcher or PhD students coming here and they just can't handle the darkness. But I mean, you can take, or you can at least try to take vitamin D supplements, and we have like these daylight lamps that are supposed to help, but I don't think it's for everyone. I haven't tried it myself, but I've grown up here, so I'm used to it, and I don't really feel that it has any effect on me. But I can understand when you come from another part where you're used to light that it is a bit hard. Oh, dark is cozy. It's not depressing. Just using the brown ochre again. It always takes a bit longer when I'm on like bigger stretches of hair. But I think I'll try to complete this part here for this video, because then I think you'll get a better feel for how it will look in the end. Using the brown, now burnt ochre again. And then I'm gonna use a bit of Caput Mortem. This part is still a bit light. Normally if I've gone a bit too dark on one area, I'll just use my white pencil to brighten it up again. But you might have to add another color on top of the white because it might have a slightly different tone otherwise. Jeez, I don't think I've used the dark indigo here yet. Okay, sorry, I need to go and have a look at my dote. She's okay, just having a bit of a coughing fit. So I'm just doing the same thing here that I've done on the other pots. So trying to do it a bit quickly. So I've been recording for some time now. It's getting late. But I just kind of wanted to finish this section off to get a better feel. Okay, goodbye Isabel. Nice seeing you. Yeah, I don't think I should spend too much time perfecting it now. Okay, I'm gonna try and just turn the light away to see if it looks different. So this still looks quite dark, and it looks to be a slightly different color, it seems, to the rest. Maybe I used a bit too much blue. So it's kind of like the same thing with the hair as for the rest, like for the skin, that I spend a lot of time sort of perfecting it. In the end, just going over, making everything a little bit darker, because to me it seems like some parts looks more yellow and some part looks more white. But hopefully when it's all in place, it should look okay. Oh, thank you, Helle. Okay, try and just zoom in a little bit so you can see that the black line is sort of completely hidden. You can't really see them. And then I'll just do the same thing now for the rest of the hair. But as I said, I don't think I'll record that. It'd be a little bit boring to watch the same over and over. But I hope that you got something out of this and that you can apply this to your own. Let's see if I try and shine the light, if it will be. Yeah, this is with the light, so you can see it looks a little bit it has a purple tint to it, but I'm sure somebody has hair with a bit of purple in. But if this was my own, I would probably go over all of these quite a few more times to get it even smoother, because I can still see some places where I can sort of see where it looks a little bit grainy, and I like to just continue until everything is kind of like, especially with the hair, sort of looks waxy. Okay, so yeah, so if I compare here, you can see that I've used different color. This one is much more purple, and also I've spent probably much more time on this hair, so I think this still looks a little bit more realistic. But that's probably what, like I said, I would do. I would just go over and over again until I get this result. Okay, so as I said, please post and let me see if you color this. I would love to see it. And if there's anything that you would like me to do sort of a color along or to do a live stream on, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. And thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye!